It's November 1987. The first advert for condoms is I can't do it in that accent. The first advert for condoms is shown on British TV. The IRA bomber Remembrance Day service, which kills 11 people. A Boeing explodes over the Andaman Sea, killing 115 people. And a fire at King's Cross Station in London kills 31. Fucking hell.
Mate,
it's a dark time, isn't it?
That's not pretty.
No. In music, I've Had the Time of My Life by Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes hits number 1 on the US singles chart. The UK has You Win Again by the Bee Gees at the top. And there's also songs like Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now. The cinema, what a great version that was I just did. The cinema, Axel Foley spends a month at the top in his second outing. Freddy Krueger is on his third nightmare on Elm Street, while Jack Nicholson is dealing with the three witches of Cher, Sarandon and Pfeiffer in Eastwick. But it's a shower curtain ring salesman that steals our hearts as he finds a friend to join him on public transport in this week's Rewind, which is, AJ?
Planes, trains and automobiles.
Right, welcome back to the Rewind Classic Movies podcast about films we probably saw as kids, even if we didn't understand the adult themes. I'm GB, and with me is my co-host, AJ.
Hello, it's AJ, everyone's favourite co-host who sort of knows a little bit about films from time to time. And today, I'll know a little bit.
Just a little bit, because you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since we last spoke?
Do you know what?
We've both been to the cinema.
We have both been to the cinema. I went to see Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary.
Is it called Project Hail Mary? I thought it was just called Hail Mary. Brilliant. This is great, isn't it? Off to a brilliant start. But either way, I thought it was brilliant. It's one of the finest films I have seen in a long, long time. And I messaged you as soon as I got out of the cinema. I was like, go and see it. And you did. And I think you equally enjoyed it.
Yeah, I also thought it was one of the finest films I've seen in a long, long time. The thing that struck me about it was it felt like I just felt this thing coming on to me as I'm not going to say that.
Steady.
I felt this sort of sense arriving as I was watching the film that made me think, God, this is a bit like an 80s movie. This is doing something to me. And we won't go into spoilers on it, but as Ryan Gosling's character meets one of the other people in the movie, I was just thinking, oh God, this is like Explorers, or oh God, this is like E.T. And then like eventually it was like, oh, this is like Flight of the Navigator. And it just had that vibe about it. I don't know if you got that.
Totally. It was, and it's what I thought was, it was such a good family film. And you know, usually films these days are got loads of violence or loads of swearing or loads of whatever, you know. But it just had none of it. It was just such a lovely family film. Yet it was still entertaining for everybody. I mean, we're in tears, absolute stitches. You know, the laughter in the cinema was huge. We were all laughing.
I was in tears on both ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
And
brilliant.
It was. I mean, it was a gripping watch all the way through. I think it's like 2.5 hours or something. It's not short.
It's not short at all.
It was one of the most enjoyable cinema experiences I've had, and S tier, just
absolutely, a completely brilliant film. No, I was blown away by that film. Absolutely, fantastic.
Nice throwback.
I had a bit of a deep dive with the family into Roger Moore era Bond, because I know you've been banging on about it recently. You've been watching a lot of it, and I thought, right, okay, I'll go into it. And do you know what? Love it, absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. The Spy Who Loved Me. I mean, brilliant. For Your Eyes Only, absolutely brilliant. For
Your Eyes Only, darling.
Oh my God, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It's a great era.
Fantastic. Do you know what? I wrote it off a little bit, but if you really lean into it and embrace the more of it all, it's actually brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Roger Moore, I try to. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful era. I like it. I'd love to get Bond be a little bit more silly. Not too silly, not Austin Powers, but just, you know, have a bit of fun with it again.
Yeah, totally.
There we go. Right, before we get into it, remember you can join us over on Patreon for behind-the-scenes updates, ad-free listening, early episodes, monthly live hangouts, and more. It's just patreon.com/Rewind Classic Movies.
But you can also support the show for free by leaving a review wherever you listen, or by telling someone else about it. If you know someone that likes planes, trains and automobiles, then send them a link or tell them how to search for us.
Right, directed by John Hughes, who'd made a name for himself as a teen angst filmmaker, having already given the world The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and 16 candles. Planes, Trains and Automobiles cost $15 million to make and would go on to make just under 50. It was met with critical acclaim, praised for Hughes' deviation from teen comedies and for the performances of Martin and Candy. That's Steve Martin and John Candy. Roger Ebert included it in his Great Movies collection, and it earned Candy a nomination for Funniest Actor at the 1988 American Comedy Awards. It's not an Oscar, but it'll do. It has a rating of 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, 72 out of 100 on Metacritic, and a B+ on CinemaScore. But more importantly, both Steve Martin and John Candy named it as one of their favourite films they've been in.
No way.
AJ,
that's cool.
Tell me about your history with this movie.
I don't have a history with this movie at all.
No way.
I've never seen it. Never seen it. I thought I had, or I thought I must have done, and watching it didn't bring back any memories whatsoever, so I'm going to chalk that up to I've never seen it, which is classic me, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going on a bit of a run of a load of films I've never seen before. Never seen it before. So quite excited to watch it, I suppose. And got into it, and it did make me feel quite old. I must admit, some of the retro stuff in there was quite quite interesting.
I do like when you haven't seen a movie. I know not everyone does, but I like it because for me it gives a real honest, fresh, modern take on it. It sort of gets rid of the nostalgia bullshit and sort of says, what do we actually think of this?
There's absolutely no nostalgia for me here whatsoever. What about you?
I might have seen this as a kid, but it wasn't until I was probably in my 20s that I feel I first appreciated it for what it is. Like, it's not a kid's movie. It's the sort of thing we'd watch as kids, and it was a bit of fun, but it's on another level.
It's really not a kid's movie, is it?
No.
Yeah. When he's...
For one scene in particular.
Man, it's like, oh, wow.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will.
There's one scene there we're going to talk about where it's just this could be a kid's movie, this could be a kid's movie. Oh, fuck, what have I put on?
It's certainly not a kid's movie. Holy fuck. Yeah.
I did talk about this movie before on the podcast. I think it was on our Christmas movies show last December.
Okay.
When we were talking about our favourite Christmas movies. Season 2, episode 2, I think, if you want to find it. And people have picked me up on the fact that I had this down as a Christmas movie when in fact it's Thanksgiving. So
it's close
I'm
enough.
sorry.
It's close
I'm
enough.
not American. I don't understand your traditions of a short period of
when
history
is
that you have.
Thanksgiving? Like November?
It's November or something.
It's close enough, isn't it?
So let's talk about the start of the movie. Go on, get all thespian on me.
Yes, God, brilliant opening, loads of fun. So opens up, Steve Martin, really, really young, wow. Like,
but still grey-haired.
Still grey-haired. I mean, he's been grey-haired. Even when he plays the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors, he's really young. And that's like, I think that's one of his early roles. And he's immediately checking his watch, checking his plane ticket, and he's sat there in this, I don't know, boardroom with the head of this company, I suppose, whether he's going to okay the green light for this, this advertising piece they're working on. And there's this great silence where this guy's like, I love when he just looks at the artwork or look at whatever he's looking at, and then this silence continues for quite a long time. It's actually quite funny. I love that. I thought, this is brilliant. It's off to a really good start here. I really like this. He's checking his watch, checking a plane ticket. And then the other guy's like, you're never going to make the 6. And they'd already highlighted on the ticket at 6 o'clock. And
the way they highlight that ticket.
I know. They just to highlight, it's funny.
It's like they didn't have a lens to go, sort of macro lens to go close enough. So they went, fucking just brighten it up a bit at the time.
I know, right? In post, we'll sort it out. And then suddenly it becomes...
Can you imagine, like some sort of studio note where they're going, do you think the audience is going to know what time his plane is? Make it a bit more obvious.
Basically, the producer's just going, we need to do this a bit better. They're a mad dash now to the airport, so they're out in a taxi. No one can get a taxi. And it's this New York City is this crazy place like we see in Ghostbusters and stuff, where people are just like everywhere. New York's this crazy, like, place that's just nuts. That I must go there one day. I really want to see New York.
I love it.
Films I've seen, I've got to go there. It's a dream to go there. And then suddenly fucking Kevin Bacon, like, whoa, that's Kevin Bacon. I thought actually he was going to have a larger role in this film, but he doesn't. It's just, that's it. So I've got my cab and he's gone.
Well, it's weird. I mean, he's literally in the credits as Kevin Bacon as Taxi Racer, I think it says.
Right, okay.
But it's not like this is a young unknown Kevin Bacon. He'd done 12 movies before this, including Footloose, like 3 years before.
Exactly, that's the thing. So I looked it up and I thought, God, is this early doors Kevin Bacon? No, not at all. Not at all. So
That's weird.
But yeah, cool. Maybe they wanted him for the film. I couldn't find a lot of information out, but I thought maybe they wanted him for the film. He couldn't commit to a holiday because he's filming somewhere. That probably only took 2 days, maybe 3 days worth of filming just to get
Kevin Bacon scene?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd probably do it in a day.
Probably do it in a day, maybe. Yeah.
I reckon it's the sort of thing where it's like, oh, Kevin's around. Ditch that guy that we had lined up for it. He'll do it.
True. Maybe he was.
I reckon it was a real quickie.
Quite possibly. So yeah, that was quite cool. I was like, hey, that's cool. And like I said, New York's looking absolutely mental, busy, frantic, hostile, and I immediately got. Do you remember that film Falling Down? Mm-hmm. Where everything just goes wrong for him, and it's just, he just gets worse. Immediately got the Falling Down vibes. Where
I see the comparison, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, everything's just going to go wrong very quickly, Yeah. So yeah, that's the opener kind of thing.
It's funny you said you liked that opening scene with the silence and everything. I didn't love it. I found it a bit dull, and I think if it wasn't for Steve Martin, I don't know how well it would work, but he makes it work and it's all fine. And it's probably been a bit picky because I think you need that there to then make it slow and then have the fast bit.
That's the thing. That's exactly it. You've got to have that because he's itching to get out of there. I need to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. And it's like, no.
And that's me watching this from a modern movie's point of view, where you've got to be grabbing in the first few minutes, and the fact that I work a lot in social media where you've got fucking less than 3 seconds.
True, yeah, of course.
And
you're
nice,
working
actually.
with hooks now, aren't you? It's like, got to get in there.
See something. But I tell you what I did like is the opening giant text scrolling past the screen like a train going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how this movie came to be. John Hughes, the director, wrote a 145-page script, apparently based on his own nightmare Thanksgiving trip from New York to Chicago. And he shot 600,000 feet of film.
Man.
That's almost twice the industry average.
Crazy.
Because of, apparently, improvisation on set between John Candy and Steve Martin, which resulted in a first cut running 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Isn't it mental? I would love to. Have you watched any of the outtakes? Have you watched any of that ad-lib stuff?
I haven't. I ran out of time today. I was going to do it. Have you seen it, though?
Some bits and pieces, and it's brilliant. Do you know what? I would like to watch that cut. I genuinely, I would sit through that 3.5 hour, 3.75 hour cut just to see some of the ad-libbing that goes on. Some of it is really fun. Some of it's a little bit mundane, but actually that makes it even more funny. Because John Candy's just waffling on about whatever he's waffling on about that he does so well, and you can just see Steve Martin getting more and more annoyed, and it's just funny the stuff that he's just going on about. So yeah, it's the ad lib is brilliant. The bits that I've seen, fantastic. Yeah.
I think sometimes as well, actors know that they have to just deliver a load of stuff and leave it to the editors to sort of make it funny and punch it up and stuff. I think it's great. But aside from some of those little outtakes and bits that have been shared over the years, nobody really knows what's in the missing 2.5 hours. The footage is apparently locked in a Paramount vault and reportedly in such a tangle that it would take months and years to make it presentable. But there are those few deleted scenes and some extras that I'm going to talk about later. The whole thing was filmed over 85 days, mostly in upstate New York rather than Chicago. But they started filming, and this blows my mind, they started filming in February, did 85 days, and the film was out in November that year, which means it was edited and turned around in less than 6 months.
Wow. That's nuts. Imagine that on film as well. Blimey.
Yeah, splicing and dicing.
Yo, crazy.
Right, but let's talk about the cast, because for me, there's so much in this film that I could talk about that I kind of want to just get to the good stuff, really. And I realised that when we talk about the cast, realistically...
all two of them?
There's Kevin Bacon. Michael McKean, David St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap, pops up as a state trooper. He's not particularly funny, but you love to see it.
He's not, is he? That's the thing. I was expecting it to be funny, but yeah.
Nothing. So it is just Steve Martin and John Candy. And I've got a couple of bits to say about each of them. But it sort of dawned on me that I thought, I haven't really gone that far into Steve Martin and John Candy because everyone kind of knows a lot about them. But let's start with Steve Martin as Neal Page. Just for me, One of the first things we see, the way he runs is just hilarious. He just makes me laugh by doing nothing as well.
Yeah.
Are you a Steve Martin fan?
Big Steve Martin fan. I've seen all of his comedies. Everyone's seen Steve Martin comedies. I think the earliest memory I've got of him is seeing him in Father of the Bride and House Sitter, things like that. Just classic.
Roxanne.
Yes, Roxanne, where he plays CD with a massive nose. Yeah. But also not only that, but he's an amazing musician. He's a phenomenal banjo player. I've actually got his signed, autographed album. Stunning banjo player.
I like him now on TV in the TV series Only Murders in the Building, which is brilliant.
He was very funny in that, because also guy from, it's terrible his name, I don't remember his name, but he plays Franck in Father of the Bride. It's the same guy that plays the Martin Short. That's the one. In that, I watched the first 3 seasons. I thought it was great, and then it just got a little bit silly for me. But it was fun.
Oh.
It was fun.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And what I love in this movie is, like, an angry Steve Martin is always funny. Angry and frustrated and absolutely fucked Steve Martin is unbeatable.
Right.
Like when he gets dropped at the rental car park and his car isn't there and he just loses it and he throws his stuff to the ground and just gestures in fury. Just brilliant. The moves he does and stuff's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he plays this slightly unlikable guy, as he sort of occasionally does, but he's still likable because he's Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And he has to be a bit unlikable for the story and to have this contrast with John Candy's character.
I've just suddenly come to mind. Do you remember him in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with? That's so good. That was great with Michael Caine. That's the one. Fantastic film. That. Yeah.
Brilliant. I just love Steve Martin in everything he does. John Candy as Del Griffin. Oh,
I know. He plays almost like John Candy. That's almost like himself, I feel. John Candy always plays that same sort of character.
I think they're both a bit themselves in this.
Very much so. Very much so. He always plays this big-hearted, lovable kind of character who's just wonderful and a bit away with affairs, a bit slapstick or whatever, a bit messy, but just this lovable character. Absolutely. Yeah.
One of my favourite John Candy roles is Cool Runnings.
Yeah, it was one of his last films, I think.
Yeah, one of my favourite films.
Yeah,
I just love that his character sells shower curtain rings. I mean, the way they make this character come to life is great.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I love that. I just love that little thing he opens up and just shows them the shower curtain rings. It's just brilliant. Where did he get that idea? Where did John Hughes get that idea from?
I'm sure we'll talk about this more as we go through this, but when he gets insulted by Neal in the hotel room, and it's approaching the whole "I like me" speech, and John Candy's face, you just watch the timeline of it and the evolution of what he does with his face as an actor. His face just drops over the course of about 2 minutes. It's just heartbreaking, but the way he emotes and his cheek muscles go slack and his mouth drops and his eyes start to well up. Jesus, I mean, God. We'll talk about it more. Any other people in the movie you want to talk about?
I mean, not really. I mean, no. What I wanted to say, though, and what I haven't looked up, is not necessarily the people in the movie, but actually the buildings. The house, his house, where his wife is, looks a lot like the Home Alone house.
Funny you say that. I was going to talk about it.
Fine.
My partner did say, "Is that the Home Alone house?" when we see the Page house for the first time. It does look like it. But it's not. It's a common misconception, and the actual houses are apparently only a town apart.
Okay, there you go.
So right. Similar area.
Cool, yeah. No, there's no one else really to talk about in this film because, let's face it, it is only those two people, Are you? Anyone else?
I do love movies where you just let two actors do their thing.
I mean, it's very much like Project Hail Mary that we've just seen.
Yes, you're right. Right, let's have a quick talk about the visuals and the VFX then.
Yes, the VFX, right?
From what I can see, there is none, apart from, it's probably more of an optical effect, but when they turn into skulls during the car crash.
Oh, yeah, where they're going down between the lorries. That's right. That was quite funny. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only effect I could really think of in this.
It's very similar to, again, Home Alone, when he's getting electrocuted and he suddenly you see his skull kind of thing. Very, very similar sort of thing.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I appreciate, love, and wish for more movies that just didn't need effects.
Yes.
At least CGI.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the burning of the car and the burnt out car and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that's all very real. Let's face it. I don't think there were many, if any, VFX in this film. Like, apart from, like you said, with the skeleton.
And for me, like, I like myself a superhero movie from time to time, and like Project Hail Mary, brilliant. It's almost entirely CG to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not. I won't go into that, but anyway, things we don't need just a constant assault of superhero movies, space movies, and incredibly unachievable things that you can't do, that you have to create, and mind-blowing visual things to be in a movie. Mm-hmm. And this film proves it. Like, give me a good storyline that involves two humans, and I'm in. I'll watch that for 90 minutes and have a great time.
Yeah.
I found it refreshing. What did you think of, like, the costume and the wardrobes and, like, the look and feel of the whole thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I liked, obviously, not only their characters, but also set their characters apart. Obviously, Steve Martin's got this, quite immaculate suit. He's obviously quite the executive, if you will. Mm. And John Candy's, not at all. And the way they dress reflects that. He's obviously wearing quite old clothes or, slightly dirty stuff. He's dragging around this trunk, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world, that trunk. And Steve Martin's just got this very thin line briefcase kind of thing, and that cool hat that he wears. Yeah.
When did people stop wearing fedoras?
Man, absolutely. Well, in fact, I've got one which I wear from time to time. In fact, I used to wear one on stage a lot. I used to start at the first act with that on. Yeah. I
used to wear a cowboy hat, which is slightly less civilized. I just bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I literally said we were in a shop the other day, and I'm in my 40s now, still wearing baseball caps, and I just said to my partner, "Do you think I could get away with wearing like a proper hat, like a fedora?"
I can't wear baseball. You do wear baseball caps, don't you? I can't wear a baseball cap. I wear either flat cap or a beanie. That's it. That's my go-to.
The flat cap. Oh God.
I love flat cap.
It's like the old man default, isn't it?
It is. I've always worn one since I can remember. I've always had flat caps. Always.
You pull it off. I don't know. Why don't we just, as a male civilization, revolt a little bit and go, fuck me, those guys wearing fedoras back in the day, they look great.
Mind you, look at me. I wear tweed an awful lot.
You do.
I
think he looks great in that suit and the hat, and I love all the 80s looks and the outfits, especially in the airport. There's a lot of variety going on, and you sort of go, oh, they were wearing fedoras in 87, and then part of me is like, is that just for the movie? Was that a bit eccentric in 87? I don't know. Let's move on to music. So the score for this is Ira Newborn, who he's done all sorts of things, Naked Gun among other things. What do you think of it?
I remember Mess Around, which is a tune. The rest of it, I don't think I really remember anything about the music. Some of it felt weirdly it just didn't really work for me, I think, the music.
Yeah. What about all the you chose the wrong guy.
Yeah.
So, what's interesting is Ira Newborn did the score, but the movie's made up of a lot of existing songs by various artists. And so there's that very 80s synth bass, but also like a lot of that scratching records, which is I Can Take Anything by ETA. Okay. And then you've got really jolly synths, which is Red River Rock, a cover by Silicon Teens, originally done by Johnny and the Hurricanes, which was a rock and roll version. Then you've got Back in Baby's Arms by Emmylou Harris, which was a cover of a Patsy Cline song. And then you've got, oh God, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Modigliani, brackets, Lost in Your Eyes, by Book of Love, which is a real strong song throughout the film, often used quite nostalgically. It's so varied and weird, and there's a real mix of emotions that come off of every different choice of song. Mm-hmm. And all the standout memorable moments for me are from existing songs. And I don't know what parts Ira Newborn contributed, really, but it's a great, weirdly cohesive musical narration almost throughout. So it works great. There's no criticism on him if he's decided all those songs. I just don't know what he did. And what I found interesting was there was a quote from film critic Leonard Maltin, who called the movie a bittersweet farce. And he said the film was hurt by an awful music score.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
It's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
I guess if they thought it was a bit weird at the time. I mean, it does feel weird, like when you've got all that scratching records and stuff. I don't know, it's difficult for me to be able to tear it apart from anything else because it's always been there. It just sort of fits the madness of the movie for me a bit. And then you do have those deeper emotional moments.
Yeah.
I really like the main theme of like the synth and the chorus voices, which we first hear in the hotel when John Candy starts defending himself from Neal's insults, and he does the whole "I like me, my wife likes me" thing.
Yeah,
that makes me go every time. it's Candy plus the music, which is a special instrumental version of Power to Believe by the Dream Academy, which John Hughes asked the band to record specifically for this, and that they sort of use it as Dell's theme. I just find it so powerful, that bit of music coupled with John Candy talking. And I don't know about you, but I watched the John Candy documentary, which is called I Like Me. Recently.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
I've not heard of that. That would be cool.
Oh,
I'd
mate,
like
it's
to
great.
see that.
It's a tearjerker, but it's great.
I like Me. Nice.
Don't know, I just really miss John Candy. Like, I feel like movies are worse off not having him around. That's such a great era that he was in.
He was taken from us way too young. Way too young.
And he seemed like such a great guy as well.
He was such a lovely guy. I mean, I know some people are just comics and are born to play that role, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a single film that is bad with him in. I mean, they're just great. Even maybe even the film isn't great, but he's in it. It's wonderful. You know,
makes it great. Yeah, he. There's just so many stories about him doing nice things as well. I know often when he'd be in different cities, he'd go to toy stores and buy toys and drop them off at children's hospitals and stuff like that.
I've heard of him being an exceptional bloke. I mean, even when I watched Home Alone when I was a kid, obviously I watched that loads, and I distinctly remember him in that, even though he hasn't got a major part really. He really stood out in that film. You really remember him as this kind of musician.
Who is he in Home Alone?
He's also waiting to get home, and he's in a polka. Right. He's in a polka band, and she's getting a lift with the this polka band kind of thing, and he's just this great guy who I really.
There's a couple
him.
of roles that John Candy does, those sort of smaller roles that I get a bit confused about sometimes, especially when a lot of the other cast have been in the same movies. The instrumental version of Power to Believe that I just talked about, that powerful one, wasn't released until 2014 publicly, when
no way.
the Dream Academy included it on its own compilation album.
How about that? Wow.
And a cover of Every Time You Go Away, Every Time You Go Away, was performed by Blue Room, and that's played over the final scene and the credits. John Hughes was going to use Paul Young's version, the hit version, but was denied the rights by the record company, even though Paul Young himself approved, and he knew about it and wanted to see it used.
It is weird, isn't it? We hear about this
Damn
quite a
record
lot.
Company.
Yeah, like, no, can't use it. No, you can't have it. No, not going to give you the permission. Is it just because they're not paying enough?
Oh, Lord knows. But you think, God, come on, it's a John Hughes movie. Get it in there.
Right? God.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on, talk about things we want to talk about.
Why not?
Have you got many?
I've got a few.
Okay.
What I want to know, really, really early on, is why they didn't just hire a car. I know. Right, I know. But the thing is, what I did, because, I travel a lot and you travel a lot. You know? So I'm used to hiring cars and, you know.
Well, New York to Chicago. This is us as Brits going, I just drive it. I mean, a flight is 3 hours. Driving, you're looking at sort of 12 to 15.
Well, it's like driving to Scotland. I've literally got to do that on Monday the 22nd.
Doable.
Yeah.
I think, is it one of those where actually in their shoes, you just go, well, the driving's the hard option. We'll get a plane, we'll get a train, then an automobile. It's literally the third preference.
True. But then,
at the time, they have better options, then they go wrong.
But okay. But then what they did is they went to Wichita. They got they're flying from New York to Chicago, but then they got sent to Wichita, which is a long way away actually. Now it's 5 hours to fly from Wichita to New York. So they're a fair distance around, right? I don't know, if you can't get a plane or it's looking that bad and stuff. I don't know. Wichita to Chicago is 700 miles, right? Because I looked it up. So that's 11 to 12 hours. Don't get me wrong. That's a fair journey from Wichita to Chicago, but it's still. I mean, that's basically 12 hours worth of driving. But
you wouldn't do it if you had a better option, would you? Anyway, I think
I know, that's me
getting too far into
me.
it. It's a movie, people are going.
I know, right? I know. I mean, I've had my fair share of things go wrong. Have you ever had a plane go wrong? Have you ever been on a plane that goes wrong?
If I had a plane go wrong. I mean, I've been on a plane when one of the engines went wrong.
Have
over
you?
the Atlantic. Yeah.
No way.
We had to. There was like sort of black smoke coming out, and we had to flag it with the air stewardess. And she sort of went, "Oh, I don't know. I can't mention it to the pilot." We were trying to keep our voices down when we mentioned it to her.
Sure.
You don't go, "The engine's on fire." This was a flight to like Miami or something from London, and she went away, came back, and then went, "Oh yeah, I don't think it's meant to do that." And she,
Really?
I think she forgot where she was and what was going on, because she started talking really loudly about it. And then you just sort of get the sensation that everyone on the plane is looking around now because this woman's looking out the window at the smoke. And then a couple of minutes after that, you just felt the plane back off and the speed come down a bit. And we carried on for another 5 hours or whatever, and it was fine. So
No way.
don't know what it
Mental.
was. Possibly nothing serious, but
God.
there we are, still alive. I mean, I did do so many flights for work that there have been times when me and my colleagues have been getting on the plane for like a transatlantic and going, "God, let's hope we have some turbulence, to make it a bit interesting."
Right?
I
It's
used to hate
nuts.
flying.
I mean, it's funny. I mean, I fly, I don't know, 2, 3 times a week. Sometimes it's insane how many planes I get on at the moment. I mean, we've had tire blowouts. I've had so many go rounds, especially landing on some of the islands that I go to, some of the really small islands. I land on quite a small plane. The amount of times we have to go do a go round because they can't quite get the plane down because it's too windy or it's been redirected or it's had to do something. And I remember coming into Vienna, we had like 3 go rounds at Vienna because there's too much ice on the runway. They couldn't put it down. It's nuts. I've been redirected in Venice. I remember having a blowout down at Newquay and they had to fly back to Exeter and all kinds of weirdness. So,
Well, touch wood, I've been very lucky.
Yeah.
Worst is just a bit of delay mostly. So what were we at? Oh yeah, we're talking about travel
off
and
on a
realism.
tangent. Yeah.
Forget
It does.
about that.
I mean,
Let's talk
things go wrong. Basically, I mean, it's very true, right? These things do happen. They do. So I get that. I know they've had snow and what have you at Chicago, which is a very snowy place in the wintertime. So I do. I get it. These things do go wrong. I have been traveling and shit has hit the fan. Loads of things have gone wrong. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I've taken off from Chicago in a hell of a storm. That was fun. Anyway, let's talk about something a little bit more serious. Where do you stand on shoes off on a plane?
Oh, no. No.
Firm no ever?
No, never.
Really, what if it's like a 14-hour flight?
Wear comfy shoes. Don't be wearing dress shoes or leather. Like, no. Wear your trainers or...
These days, I tell you what, there's a few times I've travelled on a plane in Crocs.
I mean, I wear flip-flops an awful lot because I live in a hot country. And so that's basically being barefoot, isn't it, to be fair?
So what's the difference?
This is a valid point. It's a valid point.
Yeah. I long ass flight, I'll take shoes off.
Ugh.
But there's a difference between taking your shoes off and the way he does it in front of him and then taking his
Wafting
socks,
the socks
off.
around.
I'll generally be a bit more discreet. But yeah, a New York to Chicago flight is less than like 3 hours. I'm not sure why they're turning the lights off and people are sleeping as well. Right, your turn.
Right. So he gets on, and I don't understand this bit, but he's like, a first class ticket. He's like, but I've got a coach seat assignment. It's like, well, if you've bought a first class ticket, why are you in coach? I didn't quite understand that. I don't know if
I didn't understand it either.
Yeah, fair enough.
I sort of went, I'm going to let this go over me.
Fine. Okay, cool. That was one thing I was like, I don't quite get that one. Because
it felt like there'd been a bit cut out somewhere.
Maybe.
That to me.
Yeah, that's a valid point. There was quite a lot cut out. So because every time
But
I
would
fly
have then
business,
just cut that bit out as well. But
they've never gone,
they had...
sorry, sir, you can't be in business today. Like, yeah, that wouldn't be happening.
Just even like, you checked in too late or whatever, and all the seats have been assigned or what, I don't know. Yeah, it stood out to me. The plot for me, it's just such a brilliantly simple story, and I really miss these kind of movies. Once their flight's cancelled and Dell offers to sort of help sorting the hotel, you could think, well, that's the movie done then, because it's all fine. He's got a company and he's got everything sorted. And it's just these two guys working it out. But Christ, the way it twists and turns is so brilliant. And the bad luck, it never really feels ridiculous for me. I know it's on the edge. But yeah, you could just put these two together in a room and magic happens, and I'd watch it all day long. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Later on, after they've lost the credit cards and the money, they've been stolen and all that sort of stuff, how does he rent a car? I know that the car's not in the parking lot. I know that bit, and he goes back and gives it all beans to the woman. But how's he managed to rent it?
Yeah,
that was a bit of a hole, maybe. I mean, maybe I feel like I'm picking holes now, and all of my things
you
to
are,
talk about are holes. However, it's just like, what's the score there then? I know how John Candy managed to rent a car because he said, "Oh, you sort of left your credit card in my wallet," kind of thing. Fine, but he didn't have anything as far as I was aware. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know without watching it again. Yeah, but it's funny you talk about like credit cards and stuff. Like just watching this movie is a bit of a time capsule. Those old swipe machines, like when they're literally like scraping the credit cards and stuff.
Man, do you remember those? I've got a note of that later as like, whoa, I haven't seen a machine like that for, well, obviously a long time. But yeah, I remember those bad boys. I remember my old man, or I don't know, wherever we'd go on holiday, and I think, I think we still had the swipe things in the UK, but I think in Greece, and when we used to go on holiday or whatever, or come over to Greece to the house, they always used this crunk.
Yeah.
And I'm never really sure really what it was for. I guess they took the paper and handed the paper into the bank, and then the bank...
Yeah, I think they literally took an imprint of the card.
Exactly.
And they went, they've cost this much.
Yeah.
Charge it.
Yeah,
it's
nuts.
But just there's so much in this, like old hotels and the decor and stuff. It was just sort of a visual, intriguing treat, really. Mm-hmm. Now, there's been talk of a remake. God.
Oh, really?
Cover your ears. In 2020, there was talk about this remake being in development with Will Smith and Kevin Hart, which you can sort of see.
I can see that.
I'm assuming Will Smith was going to be Steve Martin and Kevin Hart was going to be
John Candy. That makes sense. Dude, I could totally see that. I'd be up for Kevin Hart.
I could see it working.
Yeah.
But, people are always sceptical about these things.
I don't know.
It's not necessarily fair.
I could see Jack Black as John Candy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just sort of slightly larger men that are comedic. But then in 2023, Kevin Hart said it was underway. So it's all looking good.
Okay.
And then the writer announced in 2025 that it fell apart.
Okay.
So that was only last year that died.
Is that because, I don't know, he slapped someone at the Oscars?
I wonder if the timing was similar. And then in December 2022? Yeah, December 2022. Bloody hell, that's a mouthful. They said that Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler would be starring in a different reboot.
Oh, God.
Jesus, that's the one we don't want. I mean, what? No, thank you.
Do you know what? No, I mean, all right, Adam Sandler, he's a weird one because I can't stand him in comedies. But when he plays a serious role, he plays really well.
Really?
He does. Yeah. He played this diamond guy, something to do with the diamond in the diamond industry. A completely serious role, very straight. Brilliant. I mean, cast him in more serious roles. Stop him doing comedy, please, for the love of God. Stop.
I know people love his comedy, and I'm like, I don't get it.
It's the same with that Marky Mark bloke.
Mark Wahlberg.
That's the one. Stop.
I like a bit of Wahlberg.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like, if I want a complete, not thinking about it, action comedy type thing, yeah, I'll have a bit of a laugh at Marky Mark.
I can't stand Marky Mark.
But there we are. It falls under one of those films I think don't do it. But actually, I think realistically, look, the amount of people that remember the original, you could make this for a new audience.
I'm surprised it's not been done, in fairness. I mean, with the amount of things that have been redone or rebooted or whatever, I'm surprised it's not actually been done yet.
It wouldn't be the same. You couldn't give it the same heart. I'm almost in heart. Couldn't give it the same heart. So they put Kevin Hart in it. But yeah, you couldn't do it the same.
I want to know why his wife didn't come and pick him up when they were... Oh, God, hold on. Let me find out. It was.
Well, she's a woman in the 80s. I assume she can't drive.
Right. They were very close. St. Louis to Chicago. It was 4 hours.
I've got visions of you having a map out and just drawing.
Oh, no, I did. And this is the thing. And I know New York, which, no, that's right. Yeah. Like, you could have just sort of phoned and gone, well, look, I'm this far away, love. It's can you just come and get me? And, yeah, all right. Hassle. St. Louis to Chicago. A bit. St. Louis to Chicago.
Why won't you go and pick up your husband's?
St. Louis to Chicago is 296 miles. Right, that's our neck of the woods to London. Not even. You know, that's that. Look, oh God, all right. You know, if you're going through this much hassle, I'll come and get you. You would, but no, he doesn't.
But would you though, if you thought there was another train or a plane that would get them there a lot quicker?
But the amount of hell you've gone through, it's like, nope, I'm just going to stay here now.
Yeah, but I think once that snowball starts rolling, you start going, well, it can't keep getting worse. There's going to be a quick fix really soon.
Don't know about that.
You know?
I mean, yeah, obviously there'll be no film. I know it's ridiculous. I know it's silly, but it's like, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Welcome to Rewind Classic Movies podcast, where we talk about the logistics of modern movie.
I know it's ridiculous, but it is because I travel so much and you travel so much, and I know it's just like God. And the thing is, right?
This is your equivalent of scuba diving and cliffhanging now.
It is. I've got to say something about it because if stuff goes wrong, you just deal with it. You don't, it's like, oh God, the amount of flights.
It's the 80s though. Women are weak in the 80s.
Oh, what was
I'm saying that just to be clear, from a writing point of view, not from what I think about women in the 80s.
Absolutely, well done. It's not but also when we're traveling or when I'm traveling or whatever, and I've been on plenty of cancelled flights or cancelled this or cancelled buses or trains or whatever. You just okay, that's it. You just deal with it. It's like, okay, that's been cancelled. There we go. There's no stress to get home. Everyone's always stressed to get home. Always like, oh, I gotta get home for this thing. It's like, dude, I'm on company time. I can't get home today. I'll get home tomorrow. No drama.
It is based on the true story though, from John Hughes himself. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's getting back for Thanksgiving. I do get it, but also just, I don't know, just don't panic so much. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering.
She's got the kids. What she can do with the kids.
I know.
But it's interesting you say about his wife because. In all the deleted scenes that I said I'd talk about, one of the key subplots originally was about Neal's wife not believing him and suspecting that he was being with another woman.
Yeah.
And that was cut out. That it wouldn't have felt right. I think you don't want to make her look like the bad guy, do you? By being like this jealous wife.
She was crying apparently at the end. And that's why she was so relieved when he got home, rather than you've just been on the road for a long time. That was apparently.
I never questioned her emotion.
Oh, really?
I thought she's glad he's home.
God, I did. I mean, and again, I think it's down to the fact that I travel so much and I've always got a family at home waiting for me. And it's like, I'll rock up and they won't even be aware that I've arrived home. And I might have been gone for like 2 weeks. It's like, oh, Dad's home.
Yeah. Imagine if you came home and your wife was crying at your arrival.
I know.
You know something's up, wouldn't you? What's happened?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh dear. In the other deleted scenes, the young guy who robs them in the hotel, he was the pizza delivery man, and he dropped the beer in the hallway, and that caused the can to burst when Neal tries to open it. And then he came back and robbed them because Del didn't give him a good tip.
That's right. Yeah, I read about that. Yeah. That's right.
There's another deleted plot which showed the state trooper, Davidson Hubbins, telling them they actually drove past Chicago and had been pulled over in Wisconsin. And that explains why it took them 2 days to get to Chicago from St. Louis. And that's why the state trooper has a Wisconsin patch on his uniform.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maybe that's the comedy. Maybe that's the bit we were missing.
That's the bit, because I was thinking, well, if they're in St. Louis, right, why has it taken so long? Because I have written here in my notes that they were driving. They took turns so many times, like he's driving, now he's driving, and now he's driving. So they've stopped a few times. Christ, they've only got 300 bloody miles to drive, and it's like it was daytime when they left. Now it's nighttime, and it's like, what's going on here? Why are they taking so long? You've got these massive roads in America that just go straight with like 20 lanes. Like what's the score here? But okay, plot hole. Yeah.
Does this make you want to go on a road trip?
It does very much. It
takes me back to like being on tour with a band and having a couple of guys in the hotel room and having some drinks and just shenanigans.
Man, the whole process of driving from like one venue to the next, and you sort of leave the venue on a bit of a high and everyone's having a good time, you're playing the tunes, and then suddenly everyone starts falling asleep and it's just you awake now, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning trying to find the hotel. The adrenaline's gone, you just want to get to bed, you've no idea where you are, you're on some ring road and you're like, well, it should be over there. You can see the hotel over there, but I can't, I've got to go round this thing, and you're trying to like, where am I? Leeds? No, fuck, I'm in Sheffield. Oh my God, Yeah. Always nuts.
Any more for you on things you want to talk about?
Payphones, queuing for payphones. That's something I cannot relate to at all. I mean, I remember using payphones, but certainly not having to queue for them at an airport when a flight's been cancelled. Wow, that's...
You see it in so many movies like Die Hard and stuff.
Dude, it's such a thing now. And also, I mean, I remember, having to, pay a lot of money to phone internationally. Now, it's just free, basically, on WhatsApp.
It's one of the biggest
data.
stresses of being like a kid in the 90s was your parents had this fear of you dialing numbers that were really expensive and stuff.
Now it's just nothing. I mean, the cost of, dialing, and it's like that turn dial phone in the room that had the lock on, so you can't even phone home because they've got a lock on it, so you can't. Oh wow, yeah.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Smartphones are just an absolute killer of storylines in modern movies.
They are. That's the thing, because the maps. Oh, there it is. This number. There you go. Oh, look it up on the internet. There it is. Yeah, yeah.
Text someone, let them know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I'll let my wife know I'm just stuck here. Yeah. Oh, show me a pin. All right, I'm here. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? So basically, the idea of carrying $700 in cash, like, what are you doing with so much money? But then I suppose people didn't use cards. People did pay with cash.
To have it ready, yeah.
Like maybe that was just a normal thing. Now, I mean, I had 50 euros in my wallet until recently, and I've had that 50 euros in my wallet for a long time now because I pay with everything with card.
I heard someone say the other day they carried like 100 or 200 quid around with them. I'm like, I don't even consider you to be a particularly wealthy person, but you're just carrying that much cash.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. It's nuts. It's like, well, I was recently in Europe. I recently went to the Netherlands, and I was there. The entire duration of my being in the Netherlands, didn't spend a thing cash-wise. Everything was just card. All the public transport, everywhere, just card. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I 99.9% of my spending is on, well, probably contactless, to be honest with you. But I was in an antiques shop the other day, not as fancy as it sounds, and there was an older woman kicking off, telling a story about how she went to Costa and tried to pay with cash, and they said, we don't really take cash, and she went mental at them, and she was all like gloating about, I really gave them a piece of my mind and said, you can throw that coffee down the drain if you're not going to accept my cash, and they did, and it's like, God, get a grip. I know people go mad for, if we go to a cashless society, the government's going to...
I know. And I get it, and I know that everyone, the credit card companies take a chunk, and we ought to pay with cash. And, and I try to pay with cash where smaller companies or, things like that, and small artists and stuff, I'll try and pay cash where I can. Here in Greece, everything's cash. Literally anything.
Really?
The bigger the spending, the more they want cash, funnily enough, because everyone's bent. But,
Rewind Classic Movies would like to clarify that not everyone in Greece is bent.
No.
In whichever sense of the word you wish to interpret. Right, let's talk about the end of the bloody movie.
Yes, let's.
92 minutes! Hurrah!
Huzzah!
A tad shorter than 3 hours 45 of the original cut.
Absolutely, yeah. Straight in, straight out. Wonderful. Wow, what an ending. Gorgeous.
Yeah, you like it?
It's gorgeous. No, lovely. It was beautiful.
Well, tell us what happens. Go on, talk us through it.
Okay, so they basically give their final farewells, in Chicago on that. It's not a monorail, but it's that railway that goes around the tops of everything. Quite famously in the transit system in Chicago, and they go their separate ways at the train station, and he's sitting on the train. He's like so happy he's going home now, and John Candy's wandered off and whatever, and then. He's sort of flashbacks. It's like, I've been on the road. I've just never been home. I haven't been home in 4 years. It's just it's just a term of phrase or whatever. And then Steve Martin pulls back into the station and goes into the sort of waiting room and sees John Candy sitting there. And he's like, why aren't you going home? And John Candy's like, I haven't got a home. My wife's been dead for 6 years. And so
shame on me. I've only just realised this based on what you said a minute ago. That explains the trunk.
Right? Okay.
God.
Yeah. So, oh God, and then and then they're walking down the road together with the trunk, and
every time you go
right, and he comes up to the door to the house and knocks on the door, and then everyone's there for Thanksgiving, and this is my friend Neal, and it's like, oh, that's lovely, it's really lovely.
Oh man, it kills me. Like, it's beautiful when they get to the house and all the friends and the family, but the way it ends on Dell looking at Neal and his wife with tears in his eyes, probably for his own dead wife. And I was just a bit like, Jesus, don't leave me like that. I mean, you know, it's like a happy ending, but at the same time, it's kind of sad. And
it's a happy ending. It's a happy ending. So they got home and they don't hate each other, right? So it is a happy ending.
Sure,
but there is sadness. I know. There is sadness there for sure.
I don't know about you. You're watching this for the first time, but I was trying to think a bit more about it, and I never really clocked watching this before how Del doesn't pay for anything. I know you sort of do as you go along, but you never really put two and two together. Or I didn't, and I think it's because you'll see his credit card in the hotel, and then he gets swapped and all this, and so that revelation about him having nothing at the end is a real bit of a stab in the heart twist. I mean, there's a couple of twists on this, but him being sort of broke, effectively homeless, I assume, and dead wife. It's just like, fuck me, this nice guy.
Yeah.
Did you see it coming?
Yes, I did. Oh. Actually, when he said, I haven't been home in 4 years, and there was something about him carting around that trunk.
The revelation of dead wife was worse than you thought? Didn't
realise it was dead wife. I assumed divorce. I assumed it was divorce or whatever. He's just always on the road or whatever. Maybe he has got a home to go to. But I thought there was going to be something there, and there was. But I didn't realise it was like, oh fuck. Okay.
There's a little moment. He tells him that Marie's been dead for 8 years. We have this little kick in the gut, and it just lingers for a moment, just for a bit, and then we cut to them walking down the road carrying the case. And every time you go away, place. Just the pacing of it, I think, is really beautiful. I mean. As well, the fact you've got two comedic actors like Candy and Martin, and they're pulling off this really emotional scene. Oh, it's fucking stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Did you feel the ending was justified, the rest of the movie, if it was a good payoff?
Yeah, I do. I thought it brought it to a close really nicely. Yeah. Yeah.
Favourite scenes and lines then?
You're a thief. Very close. I'm an attorney.
Good.
Early on, I like that one.
Yeah. I mean, the scene that so many people I'm sure will find relatable is Steve Martin getting out of the shower. Del's used all the towels and he's not got a mat to step on.
Yeah.
He's got a tiny towel to dry himself with. I mean, I don't know about you, but in all the travelling I do, you end up in places like this where that's just the reality. But, Steve Martin sells the shit out of it. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Y front, and he's like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also like all the shower curtain ring stuff, like shower curtain ring division. Yeah. And there's this part where he's trying to earn money by selling them as earrings, which is just genius.
Yes, it's a brilliant little montage.
I love that. I wanted more of that, and I wanted more of him doing, probably ad lib. Let's be fair, probably half of that was ad libbing, and I wanted to see more of that business. And like there was one where they're full of helium. They're really, and it's just great. That was really cool. Really cool.
I was literally putting up a curtain rod the next day.
No.
and Julia sort of said, "Oh, nice earrings."
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
I'm just going to get this one out of the way now. The John Candy's "I like me" speech.
Yeah.
S-tier exchange. Absolute S-tier scene. A few people seem to suggest that it was improvised. I'm doubtful. Let's say that. I think it was probably scripted, but John Candy elevated it in some way, I would suggest. But that is the standout moment of the whole film for me. I know it's been elevated itself by the documentary and some other bits in recent years, but man, what a powerful scene that was.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just takes its time. Like Steve Martin, you're like, dude, you're not getting it. You're still going, and then they have their exchange, but it's so drawn out, but so fascinating. Every second.
Then he gets back into bed. Like, yeah, which I think is lovely, actually.
Well, on your list, have you got among your favourite scenes and lines them waking up in bed cuddling?
Well, I've got "Those aren't pillows"
Yes, the whole exchange, I think, is so funny. Neal says, "Why did you kiss my ear?"
Yeah.
And Del says, "Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between the two pillows." Those aren't pillows! And then the horror music as they jump out of bed. They jump out of bed and they're like, manly.
Yeah, like, did you see the Rangers game last week or whatever, baseball or, whatever. Yeah, Bears. The Bears game. Yeah, good game.
It's really good. Yeah. Really laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
Another one for you?
That's about all I've got, really. Yeah.
I've got a few more.
Go for it.
Strap in, I've got a lot more.
Oh, nice.
Shit, I'll fly through them. When they're riding in the back of the pickup truck and that inbred weird guy's there and they're freezing, and Neal says, I can't do the accents of either very well, so I won't bother, but he says, "What do you think the temperature is?" And Dale just goes, "1?"
Yes. Actually. And then that guy, actually, the pickup truck driver.
The inbred guy.
Well, I was going to say the hick. I didn't want to be. Well, I wasn't sure if that was racist or not. I'm not sure. No, it's not, is it? Hick.
Complete ignorance.
Yeah, all right. I like it when he says, my wife, the first baby she had came out sideways. Bloody hell. Oh.
I thought in that moment, actually, even though it was amusing, I was like, it's not Candy and Martin, is it?
No, exactly, right. Yeah.
And then after they do that, he does that the little short montage of travel. We crash cut to them both with frozen faces, and then the dog frozen as well. It's just such an 80s moment.
Yeah. Very much.
And then there's the scene where you got the couple making out on the bus, and Dale convinces Neal to watch, and he gets caught, and the guy says, "Take a picture, it'll last longer."
Yeah.
And then we cut to Neal and Dale, and Dale's laughing his ass off, and Neal's sort of dying. And then you crash cuts back to the couple who are smoking. It's just such an 80s thing to do. But one of my favourite scenes is the scene that is solely responsible for the age rating that this movie gets. We hinted about it earlier. This movie's rated R in the US. It's a 15 in the UK. And it's Neal at the airport after not getting a rental car and walking all the way back. He's frozen, his shoes and his clothes are ruined. The woman at the desk asks how she can help after being on the phone to a friend, and she's saying things like, "Gobble, gobble."
Yes. Yes.
And Neal says, "You can start by, just taking my angry, you can start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks. And you can get me a fucking automobile, a fucking Datsun, a fucking Toyota, a fucking Mustang, a fucking Buick, full of fucking wheels and a seat." And it just goes on and on and on. And he just says, "Your company left me with no fucking keys to a fucking car that wasn't fucking there. I want a fucking car right fucking now." And she says, "Can I see your rental agreement?" And he says, "I threw it away." Oh boy, what? You're fucked.
I know.
It's the way he says fuck, and I think for the first time in the movie, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd really been any swearing up until that point. And we're approaching like the hour mark as well.
I know I think the whole movie could be a kids' movie, bar that bit. It could be like, whoa. And it's funny because I wonder if the studio were like, "No, we want." I wonder if he had to push back on that to say like, "No, I want it to be an adult film. I want that scene to be in there."
I think there was talk about an edited version, which might have been a TV edit, and it apparently just didn't work, and it just wasn't funny because of that. And I can see that.
Yeah, no, I can see that as well. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
And he really means it. I mean, he's got an edge to it. He's pissed. But it's also just really fucking funny.
It was funny though because he also walks across a fucking runway. How could you just walk across a runway?
Well, I think there's a lot of things in the past that we don't realise how much have changed.
Yeah.
Another one of my favourite scenes is they're driving in the car and Dale tells Neal that he plays with his balls a lot. He's like, "I do not play with my balls." And the conversation moves on a bit and Dale's fucking around with his electric seat. And Neal says, "You know what would make me happy?" And Dale just says, "A couple of extra balls and an extra set of fingers." I rerun that and watched that 4 times.
No. Brilliant.
And just the whole end scene is a favourite scene. It's fucking powerful and emotional and sad and happy, and what a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Honourable mention though, I really like the scene when they really get along for the first time towards the end. They've got the snacks and the mini drink bowls in the hotel room, and they're just giggling around. It's so
was
lovely,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then whenever, at other points in the movie, whenever they're apart, it just has this horrible loneliness about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, time to rank it.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to go first.
Yes, you are.
It's so good because of the chemistry between John and Steve, as I'm now going to call them. I could watch them all day doing nothing. I mean, we can't forget John Hughes, who's sort of the genius behind it all. Mm-hmm. But what I love about it is it's ultimately about friendship and kindness, but it's about how it's not perfect. Like, it can be a rocky road, literally, with its ups and downs, but it's kind of a real take on friendship and being nice. And for everything that happens in this movie, for all the emotional roller coaster, for all the F words, it's getting an S tier from me.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I assume you're the same. Great movie. You're seeing it for the first time. Double S tier. Right, we shall move on.
All right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Patreon comments then. Go on, what are you going to give it?
So I understand it. I get why people really like it.
Good.
I understand. It's brilliant chemistry. It's a great film. I understand it fully. It's really
the
well written.
hesitancy in your voice is
There is. I know there is a hesitancy in my voice. I watched it yesterday for the first time, and I couldn't watch it on the big screen. And I couldn't watch it with the family for various reasons. I had to watch it. So basically, sat up to my computer as I'm sat now. I'm literally looking at the screen I watched it on, typing up my notes on the other screen. And maybe that was one element of why I didn't really get into it, because it wasn't sit down on the sofa and get into it. I'm sitting down watching, taking notes. So it was daytime, and maybe I didn't quite get into it, but I didn't get into it enough to give it an S, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. I think that's okay. I often think S tier can be reserved for nostalgia. So you give it an A. Excellent.
I was bored.
What?
I was. I'm so sorry. And I'm sure people are listening, screaming right now. And I'm sure that people are going to be leaving comments in the comment section below and ringing the bell or unringing the bell. De-ringing the bell?
Yeah, unsubscribing.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's it. Maybe I've now fucked our careers.
Well, I think it's going to hinge on what you actually fucking give it.
Well,
you can still redeem yourself here.
Well, no, I can't, because I can't give it an A either.
You can't, because you said you were bored.
I was bored.
And you wouldn't listen to that soundtrack in your car either.
I would. I definitely wouldn't. And I don't know if I'll even watch this film again.
Oh,
maybe I would. I don't know.
Bum, ba bum. Bum, bum.
Oh God, I feel so bad.
I like me. My wife likes me.
I know, because it was lovely, and I like both the actors, but I just didn't connect with the film at all. I can't give it more than a C.
AJ doesn't like me.
I'm so sorry. I know. I know. I thought, can I give it a B? But I can't. I'm just not into it.
I'm trying to think what else you rated B and C to hold that up as a comparison, but I can't remember.
I'm just not into it. Well, Karate Kid was a D. That's the furthest we've ever been apart, because you were like S.
And if you'd like to apply to be a host on Real Classic,
it's been real. I've had a great year of doing this. Yeah.
I wouldn't. Do you know what? I wouldn't want to be on a podcast with someone that I agreed with all the time.
Yeah,
because what's the point?
And this is the thing, and I know it's held in great regard. I know it's held in great esteem, this film, and I know lots of people love it. And I know it's a cult classic. I know people watch it every year in America, especially at Thanksgiving time. And I get it, and I get the traveling, and I get it, and like I said to you earlier, I'd love to see that like the 3.5 hours of it, with all the ad libs. I'd like to see all the ad libs and stuff, and maybe it was because I watched it in the daytime. Maybe I was a bit rushed watching it. But I just didn't buy it.
There's a reason why when I did the intro, I said it had 93% on Rotten Tomatoes and 72 out of 100 on Metacritic, because that's a very different score. Mm-hmm. So there are people out there who aren't as glowing about it. I don't know if they're giving it C's, but
I'm so sorry.
Anyway, let's see what
everyone.
the Patreon comments say and see how far out of touch either of us is. I assume it's you.
Probably me.
Bryn on Patreon. So you can join us at patreon.com/rewind classic movies, get involved, help pick the movies, hang out with us, all that sort of stuff. Bryn says, I enjoy comedy, but I generally don't seek it out, especially in movies. So this is a perfect example of a film I would never have watched had it not been for this channel. My God, he's on the same page as you so far. He's not seen it. Now I have done so, I can say that it was a hugely enjoyable experience. So, well, good while it lasted, AJ. Steve and John were great in their chalk and cheese roles, and the whole thing... Oh, I really fancy some cheese now. And the whole thing was wonderfully written and full of charm. Having said that, I knew what ranking I was giving it until the end. One of the biggest differences between British comedy and that of our cousins across the pond is that we love cynicism and they love sentimentality. So far, I'm like, where's this going, Bryn?
Okay.
It was an A all the way for me until that beautiful and very moving ending, which raised it to an S tier. Oh, definitely God. A film I'll return to again.
Oh, Bryn, I'm sorry.
Even the guy that has no nostalgia rated it an S tier.
Oh, God, what have I done wrong?
What have I done?
This is oh God! I knew this was going to be
someone else will agree with you.
Right, Simon has said this film is the most genuinely heartbreaking screwball comedy ever made. A lot of it is on the page, and there's no denying John Hughes as a comedic director and Steve Martin is as wonderful as you would expect. But it's the generational brilliance of John Candy that makes this film the wonderful experience it is. Oh, yeah. If you don't well up during the I like me soliloquy,
yes, you
are dead inside. It's even better after you watch the John Candy documentary and understand the man and his process. Not sure how anyone would rank this lower than S tier. It's borderline perfect. Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry. I mean, at least
I don't know how anyone can rank it lower than S.
Look, I'm honest. I'm honest, if I'm nothing else.
I do think it's interesting what you say about the environment you watch the movie in.
And I wonder if that's the reason. Maybe if
the first time I saw Lord of the Rings 2 or 3, whichever one it was, I saw it when it came out in the cinema, and the cinema was super hot and like damp, and the sound was crap, and I hated it. I'd be like, I just want to go home because I'm not enjoying this experience. And then, eventually later on, I saw it again, and it was good.
It is funny, isn't it? Maybe I should have watched it differently, but I couldn't. I just didn't have the time, Yeah.
Kat on Patreon says, it's absolute chaos from start to finish, but in the best possible way. There are so many funny moments. The motel scenes where Del uses all the towels and Neal has to pat himself dry with the tiniest face cloth, and then forced to the double bed they wake up in. And slowly realise they're cuddling. Neal is a tightly wound control freak who's impatient and easily frustrated. Steve Martin plays him so well. John Candy as Del is loud, friendly, chaotic and endlessly upbeat. But underneath all that bluster, it turns out he is lonely and surprisingly vulnerable. John Hughes was a huge part of my cinema-going life as a teenager, and this is one of his films I still find so easy to watch. And I think it's one of Candy's best roles. So I'm sorry, but I'll have to rate yet another film S tier.
Whoa. Okay. Well,
hey ho.
I'm wrong, but
I'm going to clip that out and use that at every opportunity.
Sorry, everyone.
You can't be sorry if your honestly held opinions.
That's just how it is, I'm afraid. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Oh, well. Right. If you want more things about movies and travel, we'll both be back next week with a fast forward episode. And we're going to do something a bit different because we're going to look at our favourite fantasy movie travel companions. That snappy title for a podcast. Right. How are you feeling about
that? I'm looking forward to that, actually. I've got some really, really cool choices I can't wait to tell you about.
Well, it was your idea, and I'll tell you what, it's a great idea, and I thought this will be brilliant. There'll be loads of things, and I really struggled to think of things that I wanted on my list.
I really struggled. In fact, I've got loads of honorary mentions.
Yeah, well, we'll do those next week.
But yeah, we will.
Right, good. Yeah. The fear you're going to go off on them then.
No.
But what's the next movie we'll be rewinding on the main show? Well, it's AJ's turn to pick.
Swing.
God. Either it's Wayne's World or it's a movie about fencing and swordplay.
Yeah. No.
Party on?
Party on. Party on, Wayne.
Excellent. I haven't seen that in years.
I know, right? I know.
Wild Stallions.
No.
I know. I did that in another podcast when I got the two mixed up.
Yeah, true. No Stairway? Denied.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Camera 1, camera 2. We watched it. We watched Bohemian Rhapsody the other night, actually, with the kids. And I was telling them about the scene from, in the car in Wayne's World. And I was like, oh, shit, Wayne's World, we need to do this. Whoa, what a film. It's been so long since I saw it. I love it. But anyway, sorry. Leave us. I do this every fucking week, don't I? Please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, or whatever. It all really helps. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Rewind Classic Movies. And if you want to drop us an email, it's rewindclassicmovies@gmail.com. And in fact, this very week, we had someone from the USA send us an email to that email address, which I thought was lovely.
We did. They were very kind about the show. And that's probably about as much as we can say about the contents of that email.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's very good.
Yes.
Right, that's the show. Thanks so much for spending time with us. If you want to come hang out, get behind-the-scenes updates, bonus content, early access to ad-free episodes, then head over to our Patreon where you can get a backlot pass for just $5 a month. We'll see you next week. Sorry about the mess. Say goodbye, AJ.
Goodbye. See you next week.
Goodbye.